Carl Mahan, a 6-year-old boy, got his father's shotgun and killed his friend. "I'm going to shoot you," he said, and he did. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel where we talk about real crimes and real people. This is Carl Newton Mahan, the youngest killer in America. Possibly. Wanna know what happened? Let's get started. Carl Newton Mahan was born on September 26, 1922. His father was John Mahan and his mother was Cora Dixon. Carl had 2 brothers, John and James. John was born and died a year before Carl was born. At the age of 6 years old, Carl lived with his family in Paintsville, Johnson County, Kentucky, USA. Like many in Paintsville, Carl's family was poor. Paintsville in 1929 was a rural area where most of its residents were farmers and miners. Even before the crash of 1929, Paintsville was struggling. Their working-class residents pulled out coal of the valley to make ends meet. Carl had a friend, Cecil. Roy Cecil Van Hose was 8 years old. He was born on March 17, 1921 in Johnson County. His parents were Albert Jackson Van Hose and Vera Ann Blair Van Hose. Cecil had an older brother, Edgar. On May 18, 1929, Cecil and Carl were out looking for some scrap metal to sell for a few pennies. Carl found a piece of scrap iron. Cecil, who was older, bigger, and stronger, slapped Carl and took out the scrap metal out of Carl's hands. The two argued. Carl was mad. He told Cecil if he didn't return the piece of metal, he would kill him, whatever that meant to Carl. Carl ran home. He went to get his father's shotgun. The shotgun was hanging on a nail on the back of a door. Carl couldn't reach it. So Carl used the chair to remove the shotgun and then he went outside. When Carl saw Cecil, Carl told him, "I'm going to shoot you," and then he pulled the trigger. After being shot, Cecil ran away. He was helped getting into a car and then taken into a hospital where he died. Despite of his young age, Carl Newton Mahan would stand trial for the murder of his friend and playmate Cecil Van Hose. Paintsville had never seen a case like this, a child murderer. This drew the attention of news reporters, photographers, and Carl enjoyed the attention. For Carl, taking photos for newspapers were a way to make money. Some called him a murderer, others took sympathy of his young age. During trial, Carl didn't understand what they were saying, nor understood the process of it. He seemed tired. He would lay on the defense's table and sometimes sleep. He would chew gum, look at newspaper comics. He played and paid no attention while others were deciding his fate. Carl told the court how and why he killed Cecil. He stated Cecil had hit him, so he intended to kill him. However, Carl didn't seem to realize what that meant and that Cecil was actually dead, never to return. Carl's father stated Carl didn't know the gun had a shell. If he had known it, he would have taken it out. Carl's father also stated Carl wasn't affected by all the attention. He was still following his routine, going to bed at 7 p.m. and getting up at 7:30 a.m. After deliberations, the jury found Carl guilty of manslaughter. He was sentenced to 15 years at Reform School in Greendale, which had never seen such a young tenant. Carl was released on bail to his parents. His case went on appeal. Carl's family received letters of consolation and surprise. Opinions were divided. Some believed the charges weren't enough. Others believed they were too much. A circuit judge set aside Carl's conviction. The judge stated the judge presiding the trial shouldn't have allowed the case to go to the jury. The county judge should have decided himself, like all juvenile cases. The Kentucky's Attorney General was asked to make a decision, and while that happened, Carl was able to stay with his parents. That decision never came. The Attorney General never took action, and Carl was free. Throughout his life, Carl never had problems with the law. He married Roxy Sherrill in December 1948. In 1958, at the age of 35, Carl Newton Mahan died at his own hands. Maybe the guilt of killing his friend was too much to bear. This was the story of the alleged youngest killer of America, Carl Newton Mahan.